Musical chairs continue on Capitol Hill with a number of changes to the Trump administration over the last week. Could the White House staff now be heading in the right direction? The last 10 days have been chaotic for President Trump's administration. The press secretary and the chief of staff and even the new White House communications director have all departed. With us to talk about some of that turmoil going on right now is Barry University School of Law Professor Michael Morley. Thank you so much for being with us today to talk about this.
Thanks for having me.
It has been a busy week at the White House. So, of course, all the presidents, they have the right to choose their staff. But are changes like this one, so many in the first 6 months, is that unusual?
There's always a high tempo of turnover among political appointees. The average length of a political appointment tends to be under 2 years. What's especially unusual isn't so much the fact that you're seeing high-level people departing the administration, but simply so many in such a short period of time. While that's a little bit unusual, I don't necessarily know that it's entirely unexpected, given that President Trump campaigned as an outsider, someone who didn't have deep D.C. political connections, and so you would expect to see a little bit of a transition period as he's adjusting, finding just the right people for just the right slots, and having people come and go until that right fit is just found.
And so where we stand right now, finding that right fit, we have General John Kelly now as the chief of staff. A lot of people see him as somebody that is going to bring some stability to the White House. Do you see it that way?
Everybody knows if you want to get the job done, send a United States Marine. I think General Kelly has an excellent reputation on both sides of the aisle. He clearly has the president's respect, and really, as the chief of staff, that's one of the most important things that will determine your own efficacy, whether the president is willing to trust you with the responsibility and the power that you need to be able to keep control over the strong personalities that often wind up in the White House.
And I know the big question has been people like Jared Kushner, people very close to the president that have always been very close to the president. Will they listen to this guy that's coming in, even though he is a general? Will they respect him and listen to him and go to him?
I think ultimately that will come down to the degree to which the president has empowered him, and the fact that Anthony Scaramucci, who previously had been reported as reporting directly to the president, now left in the wake of General Kelly's hiring, I think sends a strong message that the president wants General Kelly to organize the White House staff to help make sure that everybody is on message, furthering the president's agenda, getting the job done.
And now there's the investigation that's going on by special counsel Robert Mueller. That's another thing that the president is facing. Do you think that these personnel moves, are they going to help the president's legal standing?
I think the biggest advantage that the president would see in terms of the investigation is that hopefully General Kelly will be able to put an end to the constant leaking coming out of the White House. One of the president's major criticisms of his own staff has been the fact that people were going to the press without authorization behind his back to further their own personal interests and agendas rather than the president's. So hopefully by instilling discipline, by putting in a greater deal of order, General Kelly would be able to shut down the leaks and help the president present a clear, consistent message to the special counsel and to the public.
Yeah, find those big leakers that the president is always talking about. So can the Trump administration, can they get back on track after such a hectic start? Is there still hope that there can be some order restored soon?
I think so. The president has a minimum of a 4-year term. If he gets reelected, an 8-year term. The first 6 months, I don't think people will be looking back a year or two from now. If General Kelly is successful, if we do see that degree of order and discipline in the White House that he's hoping to bring, I don't think anybody's going to be looking back and talking about this 2-week period. I think that people will be focusing on whatever successes the administration is able to achieve.
All right, and we'll all be watching. Thank you so much, Professor
Thank you
Michael
very much.
Morley.